crystals. That's why my mind's staying hot, fried crisp and hear the sizzle. Represent, represent. Represent, represent.
Hello friends, it's your friend Slevin here with another audio tutorial thing to do to try to help you out. This is part 2 of Newbs Helping Newbs. How you doing? What's going on? How's your day? How's your weekend? It is Friday, September 28th, and we're going to wing this one because it's really hard to do this tutorial with everything already set up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where I got this program, what I do, and we'll go from there. So, as I said in my previous video, I'm a big fan of audio. Like I said, my audio quality is probably not the best that there is, but I've learned a lot of things, especially from TSAN, and actually a big shout out goes out to Ellery Higgins, aka Fido86, for showing me the second part of this tutorial. So, first things first, you're going to want to go over here. Oops, hold on. Let me get it so you can actually see the damn thing. Because I got, capture window and all that fun stuff. So you're going to go to reaper.fm/reaplugs, REAPLUGS, and download one of these packages. If you don't use 64-bit, what's wrong with you? It's 2018, guys. But anyway, I'm not judging your choices. Choose the one that is applicable to your situation, 32 or 64-bit. Download it, run it, install it. Just click next, next, next. It's fine. There's no spyware or bloatware in it. This is 110% free for you to use, which is really, really cool. So shout out to Reaper plugins for giving this to us. Now, we're not going to use that right off the bat, but just get it installed. It's cool. It's ready to rock right out the bat. That words, you guys know I can't use them. Okay, it's just not what I do. All right. So now that we're in the void of my OBS setup. Actually, let's just bring this down a little bit so it's not as obnoxious. We're going to go down here to my mic. Now, yours might be horizontal or vertical. And if it's still horizontal and you can't change it, you might want to manually update by going to OBS's site. I think at version 20, there was a bug that the auto update did not work. So you're missing out a whole bunch of really cool stuff like being able to set colors for your different sources, which is, believe it or not, really useful. So you're going to go to your mic setting, and this should be your universal mic, the one that covers all your sources. And you can always check that by clicking on settings, going to audio, and just setting this as your default mic, whichever one you're using. I'm using a Yeti stereo microphone over USB. Now, the Yeti by itself has great sound quality. I do have a lot of background noise in my office. Normally, I always have an AC running. Even I'll be running that thing until like the end of November, and I live in Michigan. It's just my computer's put out a lot of heat. Office has no ventilation. Whatever. So, all that aside, you're going to go to your mic after you get the plugins installed and blah, blah, blah. Now, the first things I'm going to show you are built right in. It's default in OBS. They added it in like version 16 or 17. So these are what I've been using for a very, very long time. So we're actually going to go in. We're going to turn off for Reaper for now. And that should change my quality just a little bit. I'm doing this off the cuff, so you guys will have to be the judge of that. So I'm going to turn everything off now. And if you have a good ear, you'll notice a lot of things just changed. I believe the compression of my voice has completely changed. My tone probably changed, but you'll probably hear every little thing that's going on around me, every sniff, every bump, and especially the air conditioner in the back. Now, one of the first things I always did was set up a noise gate. So what a noise gate does is basically once the mic hits a certain lower threshold, it shuts off. It doesn't shut off completely, but it stops input to the stream, which is really useful because like you can set it to basically the level of where your voice is, going to trigger it. So even if I'm hitting my douche flute, basically it's still going to stay off if you have it set with noise suppression and compressors, but we'll get to that. So this is mine. It's kind of iffy. So the close threshold is where it's going to close once audio goes so low. Now, where do you get that number? You can actually look right here on your bar in OBS because they've added the numbers to it. So normally I have mine set to right around -50, which is actually super low, or -48. So, I mean, you could probably close it a little bit higher than that, but depending on your mic, depending on your environment, depending on your voice, that mileage may vary. The next part is noise suppression. This is one that I usually keep cranked up because I have so much noise in my office, and you're also going to want to adjust your gain. So if you're like me with a Blue Yeti, you'll have a gain volume on the back of your mic. Now, before you do any of this stuff, and I guess I should have said this in the first place, you're going to want to go to your start menu over here. Mine's on the right side because I'm weird. Right-click on your sound icon and go to sound settings. And then, where was I going with this? Yeah, you're going to want to go to your device properties. Your menus are going to look different. This is the latest update of Windows 10. So if you haven't upgraded to 1803 or you're still on Windows 7, you'll have to get to different areas. And then it should bring up this, which is still universal, and set your levels between 85 and 95. That, yet again, your mileage is going to vary. This is just advice that I'm regurgitating. I'm regurgitating this advice to you guys. But that way, the software is set, but you're also not going to be forcing it to clip every time, which is another thing we're going to try to prevent. But it kind of puts it in like a comfortable area. So, yet again, mileage may vary, and I set all these independently first. So I will also set my compressor. Now the compressor, I still have no freaking clue exactly how this works. So I usually just keep it cranked. And by using these three things separately, and like I said, you're not going to notice a huge difference in my audio just because Blue Yeti or high quality mic. So your mileage is going to be different. But I know that these settings were fantastic when I was using a crappy little Rock Band mic. I have old VODs on my YouTube where the audio is just atrocious. You can hear the AC blasting because I used to be right next to it. And then a couple of videos later, and I think I still have some on my Twitch channel, you can still hear it. And as the streams go on, the audio, as I learn more, gets phased out and pushed out. So with these three on, if you look at my soundbar, when I stop talking, the microphone is off, but it triggers as soon as my voice comes on. So right there, you're golden. If that makes you happy, do a couple of recordings, test it, fudge with the settings a little bit. Like I said, I'm no sound expert, but this is what's worked for me. I try to keep the compressor a little high yet again. And then this is where your gain can also be modified. And remember that awesome sidechain ducking source trick I taught you? This is where you're going to want to set it, which is why a compressor is still helpful. Your gain is going to be your overall volume, essentially. And I know I'm going to have a lot of audiophiles yell at me for that. I'm sorry. It's not your volume, I know. It's the actual direct output from the sound. Whatever. So the more I crank this up, you'll start, I'm clipping now and it probably sounds like garbage. So I keep it right around, you want to shoot for the yellow area for your normal talking voice. Now, what the compressor is also going to do is when you get loud, it's going to keep you at a soft, it's not going to clip and blow your viewers' ears out. So if you get this set to where it sounds great to you and you like it, don't even bother continuing this video. Try this out for a little bit. Don't worry about any additional downloads. Do this, see how it sounds. Many streamers just use the built-in OBS settings, and they're fantastic. Reaper just gives you a little bit more control and a little bit more ease of use. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to disable those. Now, to add in Reaper, we're going to go to Add. We're going to right-click in here or click plus. We're going to go to Add, and then go to VST 2.x plugin. And then you can name it whatever you want, but this is where you're going to pick your entire list of plugins. So for me, I'm going to call this Reaper 2 just to show you guys where it is, and then I'm going to delete them. So this is going to be for Reaper, and then this one is going to be for Recomp. So I'm going to add a VST2X plugin again. Recomp 1. Because I already have a 2, because my settings for 2 on my last attempt at this video ended up being way better. So right now these don't have anything going on. Excuse me. These don't have anything going on at all. So now that they're there and you know how to add them, oops, just ignore me while I remove these and just pretend that the ones I just added are these 2 that we're going to be using, okay? Just bear with me. I'm not a great video maker and I really suck at editing, so I don't feel like going back and redoing this. So we're going to go to Reaper. Now you're going to choose, see you said Reaper on this name? F-I-R. You're going to find Reaper and you're going to standalone, this one here. That's the one I use. It works. And then for Recomp, you're going to go to Recomp standalone and you're going to pick that one. For me, it's at the top of the list. It might change. I'm not sure. I don't fucking know. So if you're using a compressor here, you probably won't need to use Recomp here. but we'll get into that in a second. So we're going to open up Reaper standalone. Holy cow, what is this? So while I'm recording, for some reason, it doesn't let me do this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into subtract mode. And then this is actually, this is my own personal EQ that I have set. Go to subtract and then automatically build noise profile enable during noise. So what you're going to want to do is be as quiet as you can be while everything else that you normally have running is running. Now this is going to be great for those of you who are always complaining about having way too hot of a recording space or a streaming space. Put your fans back on. Stay cool. As if you ain't comfortable, nobody wants to watch your sweaty ass. Okay? I love you. So do that for 3 to 5 seconds. It should set a redline audio profile, and you're going to see a whole bunch of jaggies. Now, if you want it to be a little bit more accurate, you can crank up the FFT size. Now, remember, that's going to use more CPU. And just for my own brief sanity, because this is going to drive me nuts knowing the audio is terrible. Oh, there we go. It's on. So when it's on, it works. So I'm going to do it real quick. I'm actually going to kill my profile. And I'm going to show you how the subtract works. So I have it set to points flat. We can do precise, that's fine. FFT size, I kept it 8, 8192. I don't know exactly what that does. I just know it makes it way more precise. And you're going to hear it click for a second. So you see it's a little bit more animated, but it's not as precise as this one is. Little minuscule differences. So now I am going to build a noise profile, and you guys aren't going to be able to hear anything I say. So I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to show you how this works. I'm an idiot. Let's try this again. And that should be good. So basically what this does is this builds a cutoff point. This is essentially your noise gate as well. And I also have my gain a little bit lower, and I think my gain is like a little notch higher on my Blue Yeti. But now that's active, it cuts out any of the background noise there. So you'll notice if I stop talking, I don't even know where it is, but if you look at my audio bar down there, you'll see that it does exactly the same thing as the noise gate does. Why do I use all of them? I don't care. I don't know. I'm an overachiever. So once that's set, you're done. I do this before every stream. I would recommend it unless you want to build your own EQ like I did, which seemed to work out. I don't know how this sounds right now. It could sound like ass, and none of you will ever believe me again, which is fine. Whatever. Next one's going to be the compressor. This is another important one. So this basically essentially does exactly what the other compressor does, but it looks like a little fancy interface, and it's kind of cool because you can actually see it when it clips and it lets you know. The video I watched that showed me these two plugins, aside from Ellery's advice, is I turned on Classic Attack and Auto Release. This doesn't seem to be doing much, because even down here it's not compressing much, but I don't know if it's actually affecting. Now, if you do a lot of retro streaming and you have a CRT television, as a lot of them do, set your high pass to 60 hertz or 61. That'll cut out that hum for the TV that the TV puts out. And you can set that to any other frequency that you want. Just remember, the higher it goes, the more of your talking voice you might be cutting out, especially once you hit over, I think it's like 120 hertz or something like that. I don't know. I am not a sound expert. This is Newbs Helping Newbs, guys. That's what this is. But if you've heard the difference in this, and like, I'm going to turn all my other stuff back on just because I spend a lot of time with those, and that's just how I work. So try those out, see how it works for you. If you have a crappy mic, if you have a good mic, let me know what the results are. Like I said, I streamed my first 3 months with a Rock Band mic. This mic is borrowed from my boss because he bought it a year ago and he didn't never use it. So I stole it because he said I could. So I didn't really steal it, I guess. Semantics. So, yeah. But guys, that's about everything I've got for you. Play around with it. Learn. Teach me something. If you find something that's really cool, let me know. This is an exclusive TSAN video right now. Eventually, I'll be putting these on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hi, future us. Hello. Righteous. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. This video is already way longer than I wanted it to be. Have a good time, TSAN. Love you guys. Mwah.